So, let's talk about some game stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about what we're going to talk about first. How about?
We have recording, right?
Yeah, we're recording. So,
Please.
PlayStation 4, something, 8 gigabytes RAM, something.
There was a show they had on there, this video that streamed the other day.
Yes, could you enlighten us,
I heard
spooie?
about that.
It's weird because unlike other things that streamed, they actually showed up with theirs early. It was supposed to be 6 o'clock, I think, and by the time I got home, it had already been going for like an hour and a half.
The whole thing was like 2.5 hours. It was crazy.
Yeah, something like that.
Why jump the gun and like start early when probably everybody's on their way home? It's kind of a bad time to pick to have your show, right?
Yeah, if it had been like 7 o'clock, I probably would have watched it. As it is, I kind of faded in and out while I was at work.
I saw some of it, like the first half, and then I watched the rest of it later, off a recording.
What do you think?
I, for the most part, liked what I saw.
Cool.
Will you buy one?
That remains to be seen. It'll depend on pricing, games, the specifics of how used games will work, since that's still a bit vague.
Seem to be dodging the question on that one.
Well, if there's one thing I know, you can't... Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
They've essentially said that there will be some form of used games, but the specifics are still unconfirmed, so I'm waiting to see how that goes. But early indications are good, which is definitely an improvement over their last console where, we had clearly fake trailers and $599 and Ridge Racer, and it was just kind of generally a debacle. But I think they did well this time.
When is 8 Days coming out?
Around the same time as Last Guardian.
Apparently...
Oh, I forgot about that game.
So did everybody at Sony.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It's not called Third Guardian, it's called Last Guardian. It comes at the end of all the games.
It's called Trico. Because it's... Trico.
Well, I heard they actually said something about not being able to play some used games.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, the ones that you already own for your Sony systems currently.
Oh, you're talking about backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, you're a little crazier about backwards compatibility than some people.
I am.
I definitely like it, but I think it's only really a requirement to play the immediate predecessors games. You were kind of mad that 3DS took out GBA compatibility of all things, so...
My whole thing is basically I want to have something that's insurance that I'll still be able to find a viable, good quality system that I can use for my old games still.
Just buy the HD versions.
Which, yeah. Well, if they're on a PS3, they're already HD versions.
Well, that's what I meant, the HD collections. Although with the PS4 we might get...
The HDD collections, right?
The Super HD.
By that I mean hard disk drive. You download them now, right? Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's probably how it's going to work.
Sure, why not? I'm
curious to see what they'll go and do with hard drives on the PS4. I'm pretty sure on the PS3 you can use whatever hard drive you want, which is nice. That's something that Microsoft was too stupid to do. Instead, they went with their own insanely overpriced peripherals.
Didn't they change that, though? I thought they reversed their policy.
No, you still have to buy a Microsoft Xbox 360 hard drive that costs $1 billion.
So it's basically like memory cards for the PlayStation Vita.
I would assume so. I mean, the pricing model is pretty insane. Like, for the same price, you could buy, say, like a Western Digital 2 terabyte green drive. You can buy a 120 gigabyte hard drive for the 360.
How much
so
do they
the
go for
pricing
now?
is pretty insane. I'm not sure what they go for now, but I know what they went for back when they were back before the slim model came out. The price may have dropped since then, but back then that's what it cost.
Wasn't it supposed to be like 179 or something at one point?
I don't know. It was always too high.
Hmm.
I
The
mean,
thing,
considering it's just a hard drive that's formatted in some weird way. That's it.
right, proprietary format. Um, so did they actually show any games that anybody was interested in? I mean, I was kind of surprised that Watch Dogs is for PS4 and Wii U. I was completely certain that was just going to be the next Xbox and
I know it's
PS4.
for PS4 and PS3.
Right. It's actually kind of like cross-generational, which surprised me.
Yeah, which could be bad or could be good, but probably bad.
The PC version looks insane. Like, I've seen some video of it. It's crazy. Anybody else looking forward to that one?
Oh yeah.
I don't really know that much about it yet. I have to still look up some stuff.
Well, early indications are that it could be interesting, but the demo they showed was basically like, when you're going around doing this, at a certain point, the square button will indicate that you should do the perfect situational hack. And that's not very interesting, because then you're not really choosing to do anything. You're just like, if I run around here and this happens in a sort of scripted way that it's going to happen, and you press this button at this particular time, you win. And that's, boring.
Interesting.
Now, the next time somebody hacks the Sony network, can they say that they were just following the game and they thought it was like some kind of extra bonus thing?
That
No.
probably not.
So where was the rubber duck?
That was left in last gen, Spooey.
They said every time, I remember Phil Harrison, 2006, that every time they introduce a new controller, they're supposed to have a duck to show it off.
They had the ducks for PS2, they had the ducks for PS3, and now we have blue objects falling from the sky.
Well, we might still get ducks at E3, so
Mm-hmm.
This is what happens when Phil
There's
Harrison
still
leaves
hope.
your company.
And Kudaragi.
How do I sound? How do I sound now?
slightly better.
Terrible.
Terrible? I think it was using
Not
my
as good as 5 minutes ago.
I think it was using my webcam mic for some reason, which is weird.
Oh
How
my
am I
God.
sounding?
A little quiet.
Not so great.
Really?
Hmm.
Mm.
Hmm.
I'm using the mic that I actually bought.
You sound better now.
Okay, so I'll move it a little bit.
Yeah, that's
How's
much
that?
better. Much better. It's gonna take us a while to get back in the swing of things. We should start having these every week again. That'd be nice.
So I guess we're pretty much done with the PS4, right?
I mean, it doesn't sound
there's
like anybody
still more to
here's
talk about.
head over heels for
Like,
it.
there's the good news that they didn't give us a wand instead of a real controller. That was good.
Well, there is a new PS Move, not Move, but what do they
Right.
call?
I'm just glad that it's not going to be the primary version of controlling games.
Right. But the new DualShock looks a little weird. Doesn't look as pretty, but it looks a lot more ergonomic, like the GameCube controller.
Well, they're still putting the thumbsticks in the wrong places, unfortunately.
Well, they've been doing that since the
They-
90s, so
Where is the
they need to
start and
stick in
select?
Microsoft.
they merged them.
I'm
It's
not sure.
one button now, I think.
Although the select button never really does anything anymore.
Maybe it's on the touchscreen. You hit it.
No, there is some kind of dedicated button, but they merged the two. There's also a
It's
share
the
button.
Share and options or something like that, maybe.
Right.
Yeah, it might be in a weird place, like it was on the S control, or no, the original Xbox controller. Wasn't the start and select button like off in a corner somewhere?
Were those the black and white buttons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were also off in a corner somewhere.
Yeah.
I think, no, if I'm not mistaken, I think they were underneath the diamond-shaped buttons, and then when the 360 came out, they became the triggers, I think.
Okay, I'm looking at one. Yeah, they're actually sort of on the bottom of the controller. So yeah, they're not too strangely placed, but they're not where you'd figure they would be.
And I had heard that there's actually a headphone jack this time.
Yep.
They had so
In the
much
controller?
problems with. Yeah, they supposedly there's a headphone jack in the new controller because they had so many problems with the wireless mics for the PS3 that they said, screw it, we'll just go back to using wired headphones.
Fucking live.
Oh, okay. Oh, you know, the wireless headset for the 360 kind of sucks. The sound quality is not so good, and you can't use it while it's charging, which is really stupid.
Ah. That is kind of lame.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I was thinking of the controller S, actually. Let me put it there. See how the start and select are like over on the bottom left? They're kind of weirdly placed.
Yeah.
Remember the Duke?
Yeah, that thing had strange button placement, but it was comfortable to hold.
I think the S controller felt a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's why they never actually sold the console in Japan, was because it was too big for anybody to hold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what they say. I have kind of big hands, though, so I liked it. I thought it was comfortable.
Do you like the Wii U gamepad?
I haven't used one of those.
You'd probably
How
like
big
it.
is that?
It looks bigger in photos than in person, but it's actually fairly comfortable. It's just a little heavy, so you have to like play with it on your lap or something.
So in a year, what's going to be the big draw for the Wii U when the PS4 comes out?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out at E3.
I mean, there's
Super
got to
Mario
be
Galaxy
some
3.
first-person title coming, right?
First-person title.
First party.
First party. They said
Yeah,
in the last Nintendo Direct that Smash and the next 3D Mario and Mario Kart are going to be at E3. So, probably Bayonetta 2 as well. Probably Retro's game. I think that's about all we know at this point.
No Metroid?
I think they're putting Metroid to sleep for a little while after Other M kind of messed a lot of things up.
You think they'd use that as an opportunity to right the ship.
that's what I would say. I would say, come out, show us that you're serious about this, do it yourself this time, and come out with a good game.
Well, they probably want Retro to do it, but Retro probably is done with Metroid for now, so they don't really have anybody who wants to take on that responsibility of not messing it up.
You know who used to make really good Metroid games?
Capcom?
Nintendo.
Which part of Nintendo?
They used to do it themselves.
You know who made those really good Metroid games? Sakamoto. And you know who made Other M? Sakamoto. So that's kind of the whole problem with it.
Sakamoto?
I never played Other M. What exactly was the problem with it?
Well, for starters, the part that you probably wouldn't like is that you played the whole thing with the Wiimote held sideways, and you went into first-person mode when you pointed the controller at the screen, but you still couldn't use the nunchuck to move around, so it was kind of like this quasi first-person shooter thing. Aside from that, there's just a bunch of storyline butchering, making Samus into like this subservient.
Apparently, she keeps calling everything baby throughout the game.
She calls
taking orders from men, which women don't like to do.
Right. There's just a bunch of story reasons that people don't like it, and the gameplay isn't that great. Some people like it, some people hate it, so it's just a step down from most regards of the Metroid series. Which other Metroid games have you played, Sarge?
I have played the first Metroid. I have played Fusion, Zero Mission, and a little bit of Prime.
Have you ever played Super Metroid?
Not too much. No.
Super Metroid
That's
is
the best.
the Metroid game to play.
I played a bit of Super Metroid, but I think I got lost, so I kind of gave
If
up on playing
they
it.
ever wanted to, if it right now, if they were to make a 3D remake in HD of Super Metroid on the Wii U, I would buy that right now.
3D in what way? Like 2.5D or?
If they just did it either 2.5D or, you know, sprite based, even if they want, if they did an HD remake of the game, I would buy the system right now.
Hmm.
I don't care what kind of thing they shoehorn into that controller, that screen, I would buy it.
They'd probably put the map on it, which would actually be really helpful.
That would be really good.
Hmm.
And you could see the little pink box that you're in for the entire time.
Hmm. Instead of having to check the map every time you enter a new room, like where the hell am I? Where the hell am I going? But I guess that's some of the appeal of Metroid.
I still say Super Metroid is the best constructed game I've ever played.
Really?
Mm.
What about
There
Symphony
are
of the Night?
so many secrets that were. No, I still think Super Metroid's the better constructed game.
Okay, I'm not gonna argue with you there. Is it your favorite Super Nintendo game?
It is my favorite Super Nintendo game. It's actually my second favorite game overall out of anything.
What's your first favorite?
My first favorite is Bionic Commando.
For the PS3?
No, God, no. For the Game Boy and Nintendo.
I think Chad loves the PS3 Bionic Commando, but I forget if it's the remake-ish one or rearmed. I think it might have been
Well, isn't it
rearmed.
kind of
Sony's
mandatory that he likes everything that comes out on a Sony platform?
I don't think it's mandatory. I think he picks and chooses, but
I don't think anybody loved the 3D one that came out. I think that everybody liked the Nintendo remake, basically.
I think he liked rearmed.
Yeah, that I have. That one's pretty good.
I think he liked the one with the dead wife as the arm, whichever one that was. Spoilers.
Oh, that is the. I think that is the 3D one.
Okay.
Oh dear.
I do not own the rearmed one. I think that was the one where it was required that you had to be online at all times to play it. Because that part of that DRM thing, and I was like, screw that, forget it.
You know, it is a pain in the ass. It's still a pain in the ass with Diablo 3 because of how often Blizzard likes to do server maintenance. And they do it a lot, like once a week or so.
How is Diablo 3?
It's a hell of a lot better than it was at launch. They've patched it a number of times. When it first launched, it wasn't good at all. Like, the highest difficulty was just sort of absurd. The classes, for the most part, were not very well balanced. Like, some of them were good, some of them were great, and then others were just like, no, sorry, if you try and play past this difficulty, it's just not going to work out for you, buddy. But they've added some more content, they've tweaked a lot of numbers, they've edited some things in the gameplay, and it's actually fun now. It's not as good as 2, because it's oversimplified to too much of an extent. There's not as much to do because there's no such thing as genuine class customization anymore. So it's limited, but it's better than it was when it came out.
Will you buy it for the PS4?
Nice segue.
Why would I buy a game that I already have?
Well, apparently people have been doing that for Sony systems for a while now.
Dude. Yeah.
If they were to add special features in it, something that's, exclusive to the PS4,
HD
would it make you
graphics.
say, hey, maybe I should buy this?
No, it would make me boycott Blizzard's products for the rest of my life.
Sweet.
They'd be throwing their main consumer base, PC gamers, under the bus. That would be the most uncool thing they could ever do.
Well, they just did announce it for the PS4, so the question becomes, if you already own it, why the big rush to get it for the PS4?
And I think their answer to that is that the PC and console markets tend to be pretty distinct from each other. Most people who play on consoles don't have a good gaming rig. So there's already a market that's untapped, that's available, that will go for it. And they don't need to make the kind of return on it that they did for the PC, because it's already made its money on the PC. It's already made more than its share of money on the PC.
It's still making money. It doesn't have the real auction
Yeah.
house.
And the game is already made, so all they have to do is port it, which is nowhere near the expense of development.
What is Blizzard up to now? Are they making a new WoW expansion, or are they focusing on their next gen MMO?
They're making the StarCraft 2 expansion right now.
Ah.
It's set to release in about 3 weeks.
Most
They've
of
got
what
this game
Blizzard
called
What was that, Brandon?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say most of what Blizzard works on, no one ever hears about. It gets axed. No one ever. They've built almost entire games and then thrown them out because they can. You know, it's like
Are you talking about Valve?
no Blizzard.
Nope, that's how Blizzard rolls. They have giant piles of money locked away in underground vaults, so they can do whatever they want.
In the Activision vaults.
Everybody
Oh,
remembers
these are just the Blizzard
StarCraft
vaults.
Ghost?
Yes.
Yep.
Been in the works for like 11 years now.
I think they canceled that a while ago.
Yeah, they
No,
officially
they canceled
canceled that.
You know, they said the same thing about Duke Nukem Forever, and look what happened there.
They
Dude,
didn't say that was canceled. The developers just went under.
the two developers that were working on it, Nihilistic and those other Swinging Ape, have both gone under. That shit is done, buried. Thankfully.
Now, who was the one that came out with Duke Nukem Forever?
Gearbox?
Gearbox.
And
Yeah, it
what
was
else
them.
did they work on recently? That
Alien.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did, didn't they? And that kind of didn't live up to the hype either, from what they showed off a couple of years ago.
Apparently they
Gearbox
diverted.
is not exactly an illustrious developer.
Unless it's Borderlands.
I don't even like Borderlands very much.
Gearbox. What their problem is that they didn't develop most of that game. That game was farmed out to the Four Winds, like Timegate did the campaign, screwed it up because it's alleged that they stripped all the assets out of that Gearbox had created and just sort of put their own shit in there. But then it's a Gearbox like he wants to blame them. Anyway, the point is, it's a huge disappointment because the game was announced 6 years ago. It was canceled at one point. It was then green-lighted again by some idiot at Sega. And then Sega was like, we might have to sue you guys. We might have to sue you because Sega had like given them this money to work on Aliens, and it's alleged that Gearbox didn't use it for that. So I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not saying it is. Don't sue me. But but did you read that whole embezzlement thing?
Yeah. But that's still kind of like
Yeah,
an anonymous tipster. I don't know.
They kept referring
hearsay,
to Dr. Robotnik as Dr. Robotnik. Who would Sega's referred to him as Dr. Robotnik in the last, 15 years?
They probably refer to him as that internally. I mean, it's probably just
Why don't they just call him that in the games? It's a much better name than Eggman.
Because they probably have some user-focused testing that said kids love Eggman and Robotnik isn't cool or something stupid like that.
Kids like crappy
Yeah,
Sonic
totally
games.
cool.
Honestly, if you get hung up about that you're almost as bad as the kids who don't like Robotnik.
I am, damn it.
But you
He
know what
still
it
is
is
one
in
of
the end.
kids.
Or wants to be.
Well, there actually was supposedly a Gearbox Aliens game that came out that was good.
AVP.
Aliens Infestation on the DS, but apparently Way Forward actually made the game, but Gearbox's name is on it somehow.
Really? I didn't know they made a
So
TS
maybe
game.
maybe apparently like an extra $50 million went into that DS game.
What genre was that?
The Aliens Infestation?
Yeah.
I think it was an action game. You know what? I actually bought it for like $5 at Kmart around Christmas.
Hmm.
But I'm
It
so
is described as
backlogged
a
on my
2D
PS2
side-scroller.
games right now.
If it's a
Yeah, you
WayForward
play
2D
as like
side scroller, it must be good.
yeah, and you play as like a different team of people, and I guess if your character dies in the game, they never return.
They
You
die
just
for
kind of take
real.
over somebody else's character, and hopefully you survive to the end of the game.
Sounds vaguely zombie U-ish.
That sounds like a Game Boy game where you get where you have a Tamagotchi, and once your character dies, you can never play it again. You have to go out and buy a new one.
Oh.
I'll have to
But,
like actually try it out to see what it's like.
Mm.
Gearbox actually, I'm going to push back a little on the idea that they're not that great. They are. Brothers in Arms is a great series, and bar the recent, tarnishing that they did with that Inglorious Bastard ripoff Furious 4, that series is excellent. There's 3 of them, and they're all great, and they actually, I think they've won some awards actually, but it's an authentic World War II experience, unlike Call of Duty, which was good, but didn't have the same kind of depth of gameplay as Brothers in Arms, and it was totally underrated, although a lot of people did like it. It just didn't sell as well as it should have.
Weren't there actually a bunch of them though?
There are 3 of them.
There's
There's
Road
another
to
one
Hill 30, right?
Yeah.
Road to Hill 30,
Earned
Earned
It.
in Blood, and then there was the DS one, right?
Hell's Highway
And the
was
PS
a Xbox 360 one.
And then there was Double
Remember?
Time on the Wii, right?
Yeah.
And there was a DS and a PSP one, right?
And Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Hell's Highway. So
How was that?
it's good. It's not. I mean, it's came out like 06, so it's pretty old now. But I mean, it's good. I have it on PC too. It's pretty good.
That reminds
They're
me.
making another.
What was that?
They're making another one.
I'll
They
have-
were gonna turn it into that really dumb, Glorious Bastards thing, and then that got canned. Thankfully, they're gonna make a real follow-up. But
You
they've
know what
got
I'd
too many
love to
projects.
see?
What?
It'd be a great like World War II game. Dance Dance Revolution World War II,
Oh,
like where you danced, that'd be fun.
You dance to some German propaganda songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it now. You played you in the concentration camps and the Nazis.
And then
are
if you
shooting at your
and if
feet.
you like
have to
if you
to
dance
dodge
in the
the
wrong
bullets.
sequence, you
Exactly,
get shot.
Sarge.
Mhm. I can totally see how that wouldn't be controversial at all.
APAC would go nuts.
Dude, they would just put Tarantino's name on it and they'd win like Game of the Year.
All right. One of the topics I wanted to talk about tonight, G4 forums, they're going kaput. We're getting some
Yeah.
They're gonna die.
some refugees from there. The boards are actually kind of picking up. Probably didn't choose the best time to switch over to HTTPS, but oh well.
Hey, I heard that I heard some of the people that were banned went back for a couple days. You hear about that, Andrex?
Yeah. Ryan went back, and some other jerks went back. I went back.
I went
just
back.
Purely advertise the forums,
Well, it seemed to work. We have like what, 2-3 new people.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
So we're set for the next
They're
year
all-
and a half with posters.
Don't trust me.
They've attained blue status now, so
Yeah.
They'll be gone.
that's always a plus.
I'll have to wonder if I can up that minimum just so that we can keep an eye on them a little bit better. New posters watching this or listening, I guess. Welcome. We have our eye on you. Have some fun. on the boards. That's what they're there for.
Hey, how did those, like the shirts that you made, how did that ever turn out?
What do you mean?
How many did you end up giving out to people?
I think it was like 10 to 15. I forget the specific number.
You should totally
Wow.
have a come over to G Forums, Project G Forum. When XPlay goes down, get a free shirt or button, something like that, like even a button maybe.
Well, I am planning on doing something for the 5-year anniversary of the site on March 1st. It's going to be a little more involved than T-shirts. I don't know. I'm still thinking about how I want to do it, but T-shirts for new members would be pretty cool. But then we'd have to make sure that people wouldn't sign up just to get the T-shirt and then stop posting. But then again, if you just post for a free T-shirt that says Project G Forum on it or whatever, why would you even
Well,
want
what you
that
could
T-shirt?
do is you can mail it to them in pieces, and then at the end mail them a sewing machine, and just do it over a very long period of time.
Yeah.
Vesting period. It's kind of weird how, you would never think that some offshoot website would continue going after a website for a television network that's been in, it's just kind of mind-blowing for me.
When will Project G4 become a reality? Because
What
right
do you
now
mean?
it's just a project, right?
It's
Yeah.
it's a work in progress, I guess.
Yeah.
Indefinitely.
That's what project means. Yeah, it's indefinite.
Meaning never.
So G4 will always be in flux, basically.
Gforum will always be a project, unless I can somehow get gforum.com. Then maybe I'll drop the project.
What if if you ever sell the movie rights off to the forum, you think you might just retire?
What?
Well, I know you're working on is it Project Epsilon, right?
Epsilon, yeah.
Now, say somebody sees that and they're like, "This would make a great movie. I want to buy the rights to this." Would you just sell off your forum and retire?
Well, Epsilon is kind of different from the forum. They're kind of actually pretty separate if you think about it. But would I sell it off? I think I would only agree to that if I could have creative control of the movie. Or TV
So who do you
show.
want to play you?
Actually, I think it would work better as a TV show. It's kind of imagined as a pseudo TV show right now.
Don't put it on NBC
Why not?
because they'll change it into a multiple sitcom or a multiple camera sitcom, and then everybody will walk off the show.
Are you referring to a specific NBC sitcom?
I am.
Which
Is it what is it? Up All Night, I think was the show. The
But-
Christina Applegate, Will Arnett vehicle.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. That's crazy.
They, I guess they got rid of the person who ran the show,
Mm-hmm.
and then they decided they were going to make it a multi-camera, laugh track series. And then Christina Applegate said she was going to just leave the show because it's changed so much, and that's not what she signed on for. And then I
then she had
guess
her
they
boobs
were going
cut
to.
off.
Well, they were going to try to get Phoebe, what's her name? The one who played Phoebe on Friends.
yeah.
Oh, Lisa
What's her
Kudrow.
name?
Yeah, they wanted to
Yeah,
see
that's
if
what
she
it
would
is.
come and take over the role, and I guess they're having so many problems on just rebooting the show that they eventually knocked it down from 5 episodes to 1 episode to now it's just on indefinite hiatus, which pretty much means it's probably canceled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like Duke Nukem.
Well, if it's canceled, that won't be a big loss because Will Arnett has Arrested Development to do. Hope that
Well,
continues for a long time.
Will Arnett's got
Only on
that Ted McGinley thing going on, doesn't he?
I forget.
Where everything he stars in seems to get canceled.
Now, Ted McGinley, he was also in Married with Children, like Christina Applegate.
Yes. He actually was one of the... he lasted longer than Steve Darcy did, so...
Oh, he did? I never did an episode
Yes.
count.
Oh, he was on for 7 seasons or something.
Esoterica.
How do we get into TV?
Oh.
I don't remember.
Anyways, are you guys sad about G4 going away? I mean,
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, kinda.
they haven't even been like on my radar for the past few years. I've just been like focused on G Forum, and then I heard about this, and it's weird being back
You'll no
there.
longer be able to. Go on. No.
No,
Okay, you can continue.
I was finished.
Okay, it's
Hey.
it's.
But hey, what? No. But no. Okay. I have 30,000 posts. Pointing that out, and I'm gonna miss, the grandeur.
I told
Will
them.
you
I
be
was
there
very
the day the lights go out?
Yes, the galaxy ending event. I will be there.
I told them they should just post the database online, and then I would import it into G Forum.
Well,
You
like
guys
the
heard the
source code?
rumors with Leo Laporte, right?
No.
What about him?
Supposedly he was looking into buying the rights back for screensavers.
I assume he didn't.
Somebody
That's
asked
worth
him,
$5.
I don't know, maybe 2-3 weeks ago, and he posted on Twitter saying, "Well, I've been having conversations with the G4." Really like that.
So
Nobody's heard anything since then.
Would he change the name of Twit to the screensavers?
I don't know, but I think he'd at least want the domain back. Maybe he could put out his own show, or maybe do like a podcast, new kind of podcast with all the old people from Screensavers.
He should buy the set. The set was really the best thing about the screensavers. Let's be honest.
Wasn't that dismantled
Come on,
like
guys, we can't
8
bring
years
back-
ago?
I think it was dismantled. Well, it wasn't dismantled, but it was reconverted into AOTS in 2005.
Time to let go.
Have you seen the number of changes they've had for AOTS's set?
I know they changed from that original screensavers knockoff looking set in like 2000.
That would require watching G4 at some
7?
point, which I don't think any of us have done in many years.
Yeah,
Am I the only one that still gets G4?
I think I get it
I don't-
now.
I don't even have a cable provider, so...
Now that I'm
yeah.
in Boston, but before a year ago, my family had DirecTV, so during that interim period, no, I did not have G4, and I wasn't really that sad about it.
They've already taken Attack of the Show off for the last 2 weeks.
And X-Play ended recently too, didn't it?
X-Play and Attack of the Show both ended on the same day. But they're still showing reruns of X-Play, but for whatever reason they decided to take Attack of the Show off and put reruns of Quantum Leap and Karate Kid marathons on.
Okay.
I was expecting them to just play Cops for 12 hours and Cheaters for 12 hours and just do that.
They
until
no
time's
longer
up.
air Cheaters, believe it or not. Cheaters has not been on for like 2 months. 3 months, maybe.
Okay. The only person I'm gonna miss is Kristen Holt. Like, badly.
See, now I can
Very,
tell
very
you already
sad.
miss Kristen Holt because you're calling her by the name that she had before she got married like 4 years ago.
I know. I refuse to accept her new name.
Spooey, do you have... You should upload all the old icons, not the ones after the relaunch.
I have a lot of those.
But I really
You mean
like
not the ones about like J.J. Abrams and Suicide Girls?
No,
and
yeah, those were
Todd
awful.
Not Todd McFarlane, that was Nerd Nation.
Yeah.
Frank Miller. The actual video game ones.
Yeah, the video game ones, not the Michelle Rodriguez ones.
Well, I have many of those episodes, but there's actually a website that I'm contributing things to right now.
G4
And
Rewind.
he has an FTP server where people can upload different things to.
If it's not streaming
And
video...
somebody must have put on like at least like 60 episodes of icons already. You could probably
Yeah.
find like the first 4 full
jeez,
seasons
I
on there.
forgot about Icons.
Icons is my favorite G4 show.
That was my favorite G4 show as well.
High five,
Mine is
Spooey.
cheat.
Wait,
It
you
all
liked
started-
Icons more than X-Play?
Well, X-Play is a tech TV show, Mr. Drex.
It became a G4 show, Mr. Spooey.
It became one, but it was a tech TV show.
I think we're arguing semantics here.
I mean, if somebody
I
buys
was
the
like
rights to a
watching the hosts
syndication,
argue
you
on
would.
Judgment Day.
I think they still air that in like Canada.
Yep.
They do, as I think
Yeah,
it's
it
for
still
Reviews on
exists
the
there,
Run,
but
right?
it stopped existing a long time ago. Yeah,
Yep.
Tommy's
it's
not
a
on
show,
there.
it still exists there.
Tommy Talrico, I don't think has been on that show for like 6 years now.
Nope.
Is Victor still doing it?
Yeah,
Yep.
he's like, I think he's got. I don't know.
I just always thought it was funny because you
7 or
had
8
one
shows
guy
up
who
there.
was like incredibly harsh, and the other guy was always overly generous, and they would just argue the whole show.
Now, which one was Ebert and which one was Siskel?
Oh.
I for some reason in
They
my
tend to
head,
be
I think
highbrow enough for that.
Talrico was Siskel.
Tommy, listen. Yeah, no, Tommy's been gone for a long time. Now, like, you see, like, Don Fubar, Jorge Gonzalez, or what's his name? I don't remember his name. But he's now one of the co-hosts. There's like 2 or 3 co-hosts.
God, I remember I used to type to Don Fubar all the time.
We all did.
Yeah. Is Bobby Blackwolf
He was like-
still there? Is he helping out? Or is he with Scott Rubin?
Scott is still there.
I have not heard from Black Wolf in a long time. I want to know what happened to that Black Wolf music video that he made. I haven't seen that in ages.
I don't know what the music video is, but I do have him on one of my tapes for the G4 special.
He made a music
viewer-
video for himself, and it was
Oh,
called
I
Black
gotta
Wolf, and
find
it was
that
basically
now.
just like a
gotta
song
find that.
about how, he would lock all of your threads and steal your women and rule the boards with an iron fist. It was actually pretty funny.
Who are we talking about?
So it's about his actual
Black
life.
Wolf. I don't know if you remember Black Wolf or not. That was many years ago.
I do not, but I've heard
Before the
many tales of him.
He was back when in the Scott Rubin days, basically G4, and I think when Scott Rubin left, he kind of went with him.
I don't know
yeah,
who
he
Scott
was
Rubin
around
is.
before the Tech TV merger, so y'all youngins probably don't remember that.
A lot of people left when Scott Rubin left. He was kind of like the
Yeah, he took a bunch of
legitimate end of G4.
the all games.
What was the thing about him supposedly going crazy a few years ago?
Oh yeah, well he went to all games, and a lot of people went with him, so there was kind of a decrease in forum traffic. But I never stayed around at all games much because it wasn't a very good forum. But essentially, starting conspiracies, and people got sick of it and left.
That was a little bit of lag. Anyways.
Well, Andrex, I know this hurts you very much, and we haven't mentioned it yet. So Rayman Legends is no longer a Wii exclusive.
Why would that hurt me?
Wasn't that one of the big games you were looking for?
I wouldn't say it was a big... I was looking forward to it as a platformer.
Well, not so much that it's not exclusive, but it's been delayed.
I wasn't really that sad about it being delayed, actually, since Monster Hunter and Luigi's Mansion are hitting next month. That might actually give me more time to play those. I probably wouldn't have gotten it at launch anyways. I don't really pay $60 for games much anymore.
Well, it is a Ubisoft game, so it'll probably be $20 in about 3 weeks.
Right, that's kind of what I was thinking. Them
What
and
game?
Sega, they usually drop the prices fairly quickly.
Rayman Legends.
Oh. That looks good.
It looks good, but
want
I'm
that.
iffy
does
about
look
the touchscreen Murphy stuff. Hopefully, now that it's multi-platform, it's being ported to systems that don't have touchscreen controllers, that they're gonna rip all that Murphy bullcrap out and make it play correctly on the Wii U. I'm not holding my hopes though.
How much is Arkham City going for on the Wii U?
That's still $60, which is why I still
Really?
haven't bought it yet.
That's kind of nuts. It's been out for a good while.
Not the
Yeah.
quote-unquote armored edition, which is
Oh,
complete.
so they have some arbitrary
Yeah,
special
You
title.
can throw
and they're like,
batarangs
look, we
with
can
your
sell it for
second
full
screen.
price still.
yeah, and it even performs worse in some parts than some of the other versions, which is really very lame. Ubisoft though is having a sale on all their games for like a week or 2 weeks or something. So like Zombie U and what else?
Is
Did
this
they
an
put out?
online thing?
I think it's in the eShop. Yeah, all those games are like $42 now instead of 60. So I'm considering getting Zombie U, which is supposed to be an okay game.
I'm surprised. Zombie U has 84 customer reviews on Amazon right now, and it looks like it's got a 4.5 out of 5 score. Was it supposed to be really good?
It was supposed to, I think a lot of people liked it for what it was. I think a lot of people, I mean, there was like always this kind of sub group of people who hyped it up because it was a Wii launch game. There's another subgroup of people who bashed it exceedingly because they were annoyed at these people hyping it up for being a Wii launch game. But the people that actually played it, I've heard pretty good things about. Like even if you listen to the Zero Punctuation review, and you know that guy hates everything, he was kind of positive about it. I'm looking forward to playing it because it does like the aliens infestation thing, where you take control of a survivor in this apocalypse, and if he gets eaten by zombies, then you come back as somebody different, and you have to kill your zombified self to get your supplies, which I think is a cool mechanic. Otherwise, I don't really know much about the game or how much content there is or what the missions are like, which is obviously the deciding factor. I should post some impressions about it if I do buy it.
Has anybody played Tank yet?
No, and I probably never will.
No.
I
That
don't
to
even know
me,
what that
from
is.
what I can see from the game, that looks like it might actually be fun. I don't know.
Not $60 fun though.
Apparently, you ride
Oh,
around
is that-
in a tank and you shoot people,
Mm.
but it's cartoony.
Wow, you could never guess that from the name.
Just like Zombie U.
No.
I wonder what that's about.
Isn't
I have a
that
game
really
called
ugly
Squishy
game?
Tank.
Yeah, it's like PS1 quality visuals.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not
So
a
it's-
Wii original generation game?
Fuck.
It's slightly more out of place on the system than other titles, yes.
It's cell shaded
It
though,
could
right?
be. You remember that Far Cry game that came out for the Wii that had N64 level visuals?
Far Cry
Oh.
Vengeance, right?
Oh.
You know what the
Yeah,
sad
that's what
thing
it
is?
was.
Even though Far Cry Vengeance was known for having awful graphics, look at the
Don't
other
apologize.
third-party games over the rest of the next 5-6 years, and tell me if that didn't even still look better than those games.
I never played it, so I don't
Oh
know.
well, the
what
Wii
it
was
looks
known
like.
as essentially like the what was it you called it, Brandon? The cum dumpster for this generation.
Yeah, that's right.
It was just the repository for all the terrible shit that people were making.
Mm-hmm.
But still,
you
you didn't
could
even
go
have
in-
45
Short
seconds
there,
of
so-
enjoyment out of it.
The most enjoyment I got out of that game was in the Angry Video Game Nerd Christmas special, where they showed him. They did like the Ghosts of Christmas Future thing, and they showed him playing Far Cry Vengeance and having a heart attack over how bad it was. I thought that was pretty funny.
What's
yeah, no,
a
like
good
you go to
third... Okay.
you go to Walmart and find those big bins full of Wii games. It's like the ball pool at McDonald's or something.
Except
You
not as
just
fun.
jump in there and it gets lost. Bratz Racing, Barry Hatter.
M&M Racing.
And when you
Ba-
realize
Barry
how
got-
little kids have been slobbering all over them.
Now,
you
Barry Hatter, that's
never
actually
ever
Billy the
forget.
Wizard, right?
Yeah, they got sued.
Is it
And
sad that I know
they
who that
paid-
is?
I know,
Probably.
me too.
Now, that came out on the PS2, though, right? Over in Europe?
Probably, but it also came out on Wii.
That was one of those conspiracy data designs ones, I think.
Yeah, probably.
There was
All I
a
know
joke
is-
I was going to make Okay, go on. You may proceed. It's all right.
We need to do something about people talking over each other. It's very annoying.
All right, I'll go ahead and go then. Somebody on the
Oh, you
forums
just
made
did
it.
that conversation.
Yeah.
You know,
Somebody
we
on
could
the
just make a
forums
rule
made
that you'll have to
post.
shut up when I start talking.
We should have like a
I'm okay
green
with that
light
rule.
button. It's like, okay, I'm gonna talk now.
We need to all be in the same room, I think, for a podcast.
That would be very nice, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Although,
Who's forking over the plane ticket receipts?
Steph is buying plane tickets as we speak to Boston, and we are going
Are you
to
going?
PAX it up next month. It's gonna
Nice.
be awesome.
Are you going to film more videos again
Probably.
in fast food joints, talking about like your day and how things are going?
Yeah, what, you didn't enjoy that?
I liked that video. I actually used that video to help me train on some of the filters for the color designs for my After Effects program. I was like, how can I manipulate this digital video I found on YouTube into a unsaturated, harsh gray environment?
So, and you never posted that? What the hell?
I know. Let me. Where's the video? Can you find the URL for it? I'll redo it at some point if you want.
It's called like
I'm sure
Andrex
it's on
and
the YouTube
Kumiko
channel.
over coffee. I mean, just search for Andrex and Kumiko on YouTube and it'll probably pop up. Yeah, here we go.
How come she doesn't
Speaking
post
of
that
the
often anymore?
CEO,
She says she's very,
Oh,
very busy. She works a lot.
She's
apparently.
writing for all those gaming magazines now, you know?
I don't know.
Oh.
I haven't seen her post anything.
you know, she actually writes fairly well. We have some pretend writers on G Forum, though.
Pretend writers.
Oh, no.
I ever tell you about that website I used to write for like a week?
Nope.
There were a couple people from back in the Tech TV days who decided they wanted to have their own website for reviews. And there were maybe 4 or 5 people there, and they asked like some people just to kind of go and help them out. So I wrote up a couple reviews, but it was one of those things where your dream, you want, like, you know, it's like those instant fame things, or it's like everybody's just supposed to rush to your website because it exists, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And all they wanted to talk about was like how they loved games like Ratchet and Clank and Guitar Hero, and I was like, you know, who wants to read glowing reviews for everything? People don't go to find out why a game is good. They want to find out why a game sucks. Pick some average
I wrote for
games
that
and write
site.
what's good and bad. You did?
Yes. That was the one that was ran by that Sony fanboy who always got angry at me because I, wasn't as ecstatic about Sony as him. And he loved Ratchet and Clank.
Now, this is the same one I was at, though?
What time period?
Maybe late 2005, maybe?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Really? Okay.
Pretty-
It's kind of a blur now. It's quite possible. But you know what I'm saying, though, right? It was like all glowing reviews about everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, oh, yeah, we're going to make it so everybody can find the reviews. And, like, they wanted, like, to assign you things to, like, do. Like, you had to write, like, 2 reviews a week. But they themselves couldn't do 1 review in a month. And it's like, it's your website, man, you know?
Yeah, I
And
remember.
then it comes out and it's like, Ratchet and Clank Going Commando, greatest game ever, 5 out of 5, yay!
Yeah, G Forum kind of went through that awkward period itself. When we did version 2, we had the whole blogging review system, which never got like more than like 3 reviews between Kumi and myself. I'm glad we're out of that phase. We're focusing on what
We should do that again, you know?
Nah.
Like I was-
But I would have to pick
Like I was
games like I that are like 10 years old.
I mean, anybody's free to write a review and post it as a thread, which I encourage everybody to do. I think the future of G-Forum is the forum, as well as like stuff like G-Forum streams and Epsilon.
We haven't done one of those
Like
in a
I
while,
was
have
telling.
we? Stream?
Yeah, I'm planning on doing some more streams in a little bit, actually. So look for that.
Actually,
Like-
I have a better internet
So-
connection than I used to, so I could.
Sarge, I
probably-
can't hear you.
What?
The one that just
I
said
was
he had a
saying that I
better
have a better
internet connection nobody can hear.
than I used to. So I could probably stream now. Where I lived before, my internet connection sucked. I could never stream.
Hmm.
So I could now, theoretically.
Hold on, let me find you the thread. You need the I'll have to PM you the key for our Twitch TV. After that, you can stream to your heart's content.
Hey, your video finally downloaded for me. So
What video?
the one with you and Kumi
Yeah.
at the coffee shop where we were looking at sailing for 6 minutes.
Dutch
I
angle.
re-downloaded it.
Oh yeah. Because the camera's just like sitting on the table.
I was using my smartphone. Okay, you know.
Can that only go up to 720?
What?
Your camera?
Evidently.
You know what? This reminds me now. I didn't hear Sony. Did they mention anything about that 4K stuff for the PS4?
No. I think that eventually there will be some kind of crazy first-party game that kind of shows it off, but I definitely don't think 99% of games are going to even bother with that.
Can you guys pick up my keyboard when I type?
Yes.
Like, are you hearing this right now?
Yes.
This is like the best episode ever.
This is the best episode ever.
It's the best episode I've ever recorded on a Sunday night.
Right.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, if there's one that deserves to disappear, actually, it would be this one.
I agree.
No, we need to have one for February because I don't like not having one for a certain month, even though that's happened multiple times in the past. But
I'm starving and disoriented.
This is the shortest
connected.
month of the year.
yes. And we actually have kind of a streak going. We didn't do one in October, but not counting that, the last gap was in May last year. And the last gap before that was May the previous year. So we've only had a couple gaps that have been longer than a month, actually. So that's why we have to have this one. Otherwise, by the time next week rolls around, it'll be March already.
Oh my god, I forgot Friday's March.
Yeah, I know.
I have to go back to the doctor's on Friday.
For your diabetes?
That's right. I went and I was supposed to go Friday before last, and I had an appointment for 8:15, and originally I had requested to come in half day for work because when I made the appointment 3 months ago, I didn't realize there was a holiday on Monday, and I'd have it off anyway. So I then asked for the entire day off, and I thought my appointment was at 10, and I went home on Thursday. I took a nap. I woke up. I looked at the card. I realized it was 8:15. I said, oh, I got to get up like super early. So I had absolutely no sleep. I probably got to sleep maybe around 4 and got up around 7. And I get to the doctor's office, and the door is locked. So I call the number to the alternate place, and then come to find out my doctor decided to go on vacation for 2 weeks, and then I never got a call about it. I was like, great, okay. So being the idiot that I am, thinking I could have a 4-day weekend, I said, I think I'll go into work for a while. And
So this would be on the extras portion?
I should hope so.
My doctor's exam only shows up in the special extra director's cut version of the Gcast.
Yes.
We are gearing up
Bonus.
for the 50th episode, which will be another video cast.
Can you tell I'm not very, very awake right now? Does anybody notice that?
If you sign up and pay $10 a month to Andrew, you'll get to hear about Spooey's diabetes appointment.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is a key
Hey.
cornerstone of our G-Form Premium
My
feature
blood
set.
sugar level was 84 last time I went. So.
Okay, yeah, we're ending
What?
this podcast right now. Nobody here seems that into continuing it, so...
What do you want to talk about, Andrew?
I am finished with the stuff I
I
want to
have
talk about.
I have no idea what else to talk about. Quite honestly.
That's probably a good sign we should stop. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you
It's been
for.
we've done this an hour. We could stop now, right?
Yeah, we can stop.
Fuck it, do it live.
We'll end it live.
Just play me out with some good music.
Did Joel leave? Yeah, looks like he left.
Uh,
All right, Spooey, you can choose the ending music for this episode.
And I'll let you pick whatever you want. If you even want to do Doctor Who, that's perfectly fine.
I don't think there's any
he has
Doctor
the
Who
no
music.
tolerance for bullshit.
Yeah.
You've gone through every song for Doctor Who. There is nothing left, right?
Well, between me and Kumi, I mean, we're both in stealth. We're all massive Doctor Who fans.
I mean, if you asked me, you know I'm going to pick an old video game music. So
That's
might as well
fine.
go
That
ahead.
actually goes
Next
well.
time I get to pick the song. I never got to pick the song ever.
Okay, you can pick the opening for this one. Just post it in the chat
Okay, how about
box.
this? You pick both of them, and I'll pick one down the line. How's that?
No, I'll pick
My
the
brain-
opening. You pick the.
My brain is completely fried right now. I can't think of a single thing.
Fantastic.
Okay.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you for showing up.
There you go.
and-
Pick something from Fantastic Four, the movie. There you go. Whatever you want.
Okay. Whatever.
Either or. Rise of the Silver Surfer, that's fine.
Yeah, I think your
Alright.
brain is fried, Spooey.
All right, have fun, everybody.
Good night.
Over and out.
Why do I even bother sometimes?